Hey everybody, it's Steve here, and we're gonna play some Donkey Kong. Gosh, playing this game, it always takes me back. I've got really fond memories of like being at like a Chuck E. Cheese when I was a kid, and amongst all the video games, there was Donkey Kong, and it's always the one that I was drawn to. I mean, this game, I can feel kind of old now. Thinking about how old this game is, we're talking like 1980. This game's like 30 years old. So, which means I was only like, 6, maybe 7 at the time. I was just always drawn to Donkey Kong. It's the one that stood out. It was different from the others. It was more than just one screen over and over again. Pac-Man was good, all the others of the time. All the classic games, well, they were all good, but it was Donkey Kong. But if I had money to spend, it's the one that I always went back to. Obviously, this is not the arcade version. Unfortunately, it's the Nintendo version, which is it's not bad. But of the 4 levels of the original arcade game, only 3 of them are present here. The one that's missing is the what's usually referred to as the Pie Factory. But it's a level with a bunch of conveyor belts and trays of like cement to jump over, and it's a pretty cool level, and it's a shame that it was left out of the majority of the home versions. But it's just a classic game, and it takes me back, and it's a lot of good memories associated with this game. It's of importance, obviously, because it's the first game that Mario appears in. He's obviously not named Mario at this point. He was on the instructions on the front of the arcade cabinet. He was referred to as Jumpman, simply because he's a man that jumps, apparently. Levels are really quick. I should be able to get through a couple rounds. Obviously, on this version, it's just the same 3 levels, over and over again, with increasing difficulty as it goes. But I'll see how much I can get into like 10 minutes. The hammers, you can use to smash the barrels. I kind of hold off on those until really necessary. They can sometimes trip you up more than they can help you, to be honest. Well, the premise, obviously, if you haven't figured it out already, Donkey Kong has kidnapped Mario's girlfriend, and it's up to you to go get her back. That's simple. The name Donkey Kong has always been, kind of strange to me. And I know that I've heard along the years, the meaning of it. Obviously, Kong is a reference to King Kong, I would think. But the donkey part is kind of strange, considering that there's no donkey in the game. But, another name for a donkey is an ass, and I guess Donkey Kong here is kind of being an ass to Mario. So that's always been my interpretation of it, of what the name means. Well, I haven't talked too much about the levels, really. I've been babbling about other things. I'll get into that the next round. For right now, I'd like to say that I apologize for the last video that I put up. That was really dark, and God, you would think by now I'd have the hang of this, but I don't pay attention to my settings. I just laziness. That's all it is. It's laziness, and I'll try to be more mindful of that in the future. With each increasing level here, especially on this stage, there's more fireballs. They get trickier to avoid. In the arcade version, I know that you can get right up next to Donkey Kong, and you kind of like just repetitively jump, and you just keep getting 100 points over and over again. But I think I've tried on the home versions that doesn't work. What's also missing from this version is the opening scene of Donkey Kong carrying the girl up to the top of the tower and jumping on the pillars and making them all drop down. I at one point looked on eBay just for the heck of it, and found some Donkey Kong arcade machines for sale, and they were just obviously way out of my price range. Anyone who grew up in the same time as I did would also remember that they had like coffee table style, tables that had the game inside. and the controls were kind of on the side of the table. I found one of those too on eBay, but again, you know, too rich for my blood. In this level, with each round, the elevators start moving faster, and the springs up top start moving faster. They're really what usually finally takes me down in this game are those springs in higher levels. They just get insanely fast, and you've got to be like, you know, pixel perfect to avoid them. You know, like that. You know, what you have to do kind of is go past the ladder and then back again once the spring, like just as the spring goes over you. And try and do it again this time. You know, there's some of, I guess the girl's name is Pauline. I don't know, think her name was originally that, or if they named her that along the way. I don't remember, but some of her possessions are kind of scattered around the levels. The umbrella. There's in the arcade version there's a hat, but there's not one in this. But they're worth 800 points if you should grab them. Now, on this stage, obviously, if you haven't noticed, what I've been doing all along is to get the rivets out of these platforms. You can either walk over them, jump over them, whichever works best for you. There's also hammers in this level, and you can use that on the fireballs if you want. It's more difficult to use them on the fireballs than it is on the barrels, because it's easy for the fireballs to kind of hang back and avoid you. And once you take out a rivet, you can't walk back over that gap, and you can't jump with the hammer, so it kind of inhibits your movements when you've got the hammer on this level. Poor Donkey Kong. He's always getting dropped on his head. We'll get through one more round here. Donkey Kong starts throwing like diagonal barrels at some point. Those usually can, you know, kind of make for a bad day for me. Obviously here, there's a diagonal one right there. It's just getting kind of crazy at this point with the barrels. There's no pattern to them. There's no way you can predict which way they're going to go, if they're going to come down the ladder. You know, most games of the time had patterns. You know, Pac-Man was all about patterns. The ghosts in Pac-Man traveled in a certain pattern. There were like books written about the patterns. In this game with the barrels, there's none. There's just no pattern at all. I think it's around level 5 or 6 that I finally, these springs just, they just take me out because they're just moving so fast. Once the elevator's moving faster, you're going to have to kind of go this long way around. Up until now, what I've been doing is hopping off that second elevator onto this platform right here, but the faster the elevators move, you can't do that anymore. Yeah, those springs just barely miss you. They're going to bump up the number of fireballs that are in this level. Again, I usually avoid the hammer. It's just not worth it. You know, which is surprising, seeing as how I am all about getting as many points as possible. But sometimes, well, that was pretty stupid, now wasn't it? Sometimes you get more points just by completing the stage as fast as possible, because you get that bonus that's up in the top right corner there. It gradually goes down as you're playing, and so sometimes it's worth it to just finish the stage quickly and get the bonus if, you know, points is what you're looking for, rather than waste time with the hammer. See, now why can't Mario just grab his girlfriend right there? He's right next to her. Donkey Kong's not doing anything. I don't know. The logic of the games at the time. But anyway, I'm going to finish the stage up, and that's pretty much all the time we've got. That's it. The levels just keep rotating. Have a good one, and I'll see you around. Peace.